Okay, well, since you guys didn't get the benefit of actually having a review session before the exam to speak of, I'm gonna go ahead and go over the foreign national stuff. Basically, just a video for you guys, so don't send this around. Um, yeah, because everybody else could have went to discussion and gotten this review, but there were several people who didn't. So one of the first things that you need to know are the different terms. And just to kind of streamline these things so that you have the basic definition of everything. Just kind of, hopefully, in case you didn't get it while we were actually going over it. So, an illegal non immigrant is, to put it simply, someone who overstays a visa. As simple as that. An immigrant is basically somebody who has legal permanent residency status. And then they can eventually become a citizen. So that's what you typically think of when you think of an immigrant. Non-immigrant is somebody who has temporary visa. So if you've noticed this, you've got a legal non-immigrant overstays a visa. A non-immigrant is somebody who has a temporary visa. So an undocumented migrant, someone who crosses the border. So a lot of times you hear people say illegal aliens. Or illegal immigrants, whatever they want to term it. These are these undocumented migrants, basically. So don't get this confused with illegal immigrant, which is someone who had legal permanent residency but committed a crime of moral turpitude. So to make that simple, when you know an immigrant is somebody who has legal permanent residency. So you've got illegal immigrant. So what makes them illegal is they committed a crime. Are crimes legal? No, crimes are illegal. So hopefully that'll help. Okay. Thing. MS-13, the gang MS-13. It started in Los Angeles. Where this came from, don't ask. Yeah, don't ask. It's a long story. It started in Los Angeles. Good. I talked about 287G. So if you recall back from one of the previous exams, it's basically 287G is actually a section of a bigger act. Honestly, I don't know what the bigger act is. My assumption is that it is this IIRIRA of 1996. That's my assumption. Don't quote me on it. So 287G is just a section of it that basically allows for the local level law enforcement of federal immigration law. So local cops can enforce federal immigration law. Simple as that. So no, it doesn't reduce crime. It has no reduction of crime. However, like, it does have an announcement effect. So announcement effect, no reduction of crime. So kind of going with the research side, one of the things that we talked about during the lecture was that illegal immigrants do not commit, or, well, I guess not just illegal immigrants, but illegal foreign nationals, they don't commit more crimes than U.S. citizens. Makes sense, because if they're here illegally, then why did they want to commit a crime? To draw attention to themselves. However, another interesting aspect of this, undocumented migrants, illegal immigrants, they do pay taxes. The question of why, I can't answer that. I have no clue. Maybe they just want to contribute. But they pay this through something called ITIN. You might remember this from the review. So ITIN is basically a number that allows illegal foreign nationals to pay taxes. Simple as that. A lot of migrants use smugglers into the U.S. Figures like 90%, somewhere around there. It costs on average about $5,000 to $10,000 to have a smuggler smuggle you in. Oh, well, not you, since, yeah, an illegal foreign national. One of the things we talked about at the end of lecture that she basically pulled teeth to get out of people is that 40% of the legal foreign national population came with some type of documentation. So, and also know the converse of that. So 60% of the legal foreign national did not come with any documentation. So we talked about the IIRIRA 1996 earlier. So it's the Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigrant Responsibility Act. Basically, the whole gist of this is that legal permanent residents can be deported for crimes of moral turpitude. Turpitude, if in case you don't have it in your notes, it's Turpitude. Just so you have the spelling down, so you recognize it for the exam. We only talked about one case with this. We talked about Padilla v. Kentucky, 2010. Basically, the gist of it, criminal defense attorneys have to inform their clients of any civil immigration consequences for violating criminal law. So we talked about basically who is a foreign national. So kind of related to that, the foreign-born population. This includes naturalized U.S. citizens. Makes sense if they've been naturalized, and that basically you're making the assumption they were unnatural at some point. So if they were unnatural, then they weren't naturally from here. So they'd be foreign-born. We talked about a bunch of different theories of what could be related to this. So we talked about differential association. There's like strain opportunity theory, labeling theory, all this stuff. One of the new ones that was brought up was the immigrant revitalization perspective. So be familiar with that. Also know that it's been the most supported by evidence. So it's basically as being the most accurate, the most able to explain the most about foreign national perspective. Also, second generation children of immigrants commit more crime than U.S. citizens with U.S.-born parents. Which is kind of interesting, considering that illegal immigrants don't commit more crimes, which, I mean, it probably just because they don't want to do anything like that. One other thing, Tom Tyler, because I promised I would mention this, and I don't have it in my notes right now. Let me pull this up real quick. Basically what he's talking about, oh goodness. Haha. So basically he's talking about procedural justice, and he says that it can be achieved through the public perception of participation, neutrality, dignity, and respect. So those four. That's all I've got. If you have questions, let me know. Hopefully that helps.